point, so we could get that together. That's all. And we'll just go through a slideshow when it's finished. Thank you for
Yeah, and the floor is okay, but it's gonna.
it didn't get them off between.
Yeah, I'm just seeing Debbie spots.
Yeah, I would never.
But there was still, they used the wood green.
Yeah,
and
so
I
you
used
have time to mop it.
not mop, but I used, I used those mop heads to, they catch the dust.
They didn't get them off between.
Yeah, I'm just seeing.
Hey, Phil, how are you?
But there was still.
Those are the. And then these are, well, all.
No, sorry, I missed Titanic. I had some family stuff I had to do.
I hate to tell you this, but it's something.
Oh, Phil, you always, I was doing something from you.
Yeah, but and guess who missed the boat? Ivan.
Yeah, was there a good attendance?
We had 120.
Hi, dear.
Yeah,
I'll go.
Daryl, are you at Topside?
Yes.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
Yes, I can feel the heat on my back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a great day.
Or does he have a backdrop?
Are you actually?
No, he's at Topside. You can tell. It's legit. There's no AI there.
I don't know. He's pretty crafty there, Patty.
I don't know about that. It's nice to see everyone.
You too.
Thank you.
Oh my God, Adriana is here. Paige is here. Yay, okay.
Oh, I just saw a page yesterday.
Hello, hello. Okay, everyone, we will call this meeting to order. Emily isn't here, so Earl will be helping me. And we'll start by the approval of the minute.
Oh, thank you.
So can we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I second.
I'll second.
I'll third.
Thank you. Yeah, Emily's out of town. Lua can't make it, and Susan will be here, but she's gonna be late.
Emily's in Europe.
Mhm.
So we will start with new business. And Paige has contacted me about the idea for an original artist music festival for 2024. And so I wanted to give you the opportunity to discuss your vision for that and how we might move forward to put that in our 2024 work plan.
Yeah, basically, I just adore Fort Silicon Park and that amazing pavilion that we have there. And I'm also an artist, a musical artist and a songwriter, and I have kind of plugged into the scene, and I know so many folks who do this. And it's really tough these days to be an original songwriter, to have an original band, be an original musician, because it's hard to get signed. People are streaming for free. It's hard to make any money. There's just, it's always been tough to be a musician, but one of my newest ventures is to try to create opportunities to pay artists. And I don't mean to giggle. I think that's a really important thing, that we always need to do. But one of the things we have in Lakewood is that beautiful pavilion. And instead of just on Thursday nights in the summer, it'd be nice to have just more music there, generally speaking, more events there if we can at all swing it. So, but yes, original music it's not licensed. Usually it's, people can do it. They can sell their CDs. It's just I'm sorry, my head's swimming because I've had a lot of meetings lately, but if we do something that's 1 day festival, it's a very easy thing to do. We can do, we don't need to have lights. We need to hire a tech person to basically make it so the audio is real nice. And you can even have like a back line, so drums and bass, amps, so the artists aren't having to bring that. So that lessens the load on that load in. And you can build a day where you have like 7 or 8 bands that get to play their music and then sell their CDs. And you could have food trucks come. You could make it a really nice day. About $1,000, maybe $1,200 for the the tech side of things. But again, if you do it before sunset during the summer, no lights needed, which is nice. And then if we could just figure out a way to have a stipend for each band, I think that would be nice. Wouldn't need to be too much, $250 a band, I think would be something, if we could swing it, if it's in the budget. I think it would be nice if it was no charge event, so people could come to the park and bring a picnic or buy food and enjoy. There's a lot of young bands where, they're going to bring their moms and dads and possibly even family to come down to the park for the day. So I think it could be a big draw, for us to do it. And we could maybe even have not an audition process, but an entry process that is gives precedence to Lakewood-based bands. And then Tacoma-based bands, so that it's not just a bunch of folks from Seattle. So we're kind of serving our community. So that's it.
Great idea. I don't know anything about original artists. Are there a lot of them? Is it rock and roll? Tell me about that.
Yeah. So McMinimans downtown here has become kind of a hub for a lot of the original bands that are coming through. And, there's a lot of folks that have basically a 1 hour set. So it's like 45 minutes. And then you could build in like a little turnover of about 20 minutes or so between each band. It's a pretty thriving scene. And they pretty much survived just going to, like there just was a big one up in Belltown Bloom. I don't know if you all heard about that, but that was taking place in Venues up in Belltown. And, venues are great and we love them, but I really have a heart for nonprofit and for events in a park setting where families can come and go. It's not like a bar scene. McMinimans does well. They do sell a lot of food and drink. They almost have to have a lot of those bands come through. So you have a number of artists turnover and families coming through and supporting their students. And we can say, that we're focusing on family friendly fare so that the artists are, doing music that is not full of curse words and that kind of thing, because there's a punk scene for sure. But I wouldn't be afraid of that. So.
Paige, so what's the definition though of original artist band? So what is that? Is it all their own music?
Think Tiny Desk Concert, NPR Tiny Desk Concert. They just had their big contest. They had 6,000 entries, and they're coming through to do a show in June at the Neptune. It's going to be sold out at the Neptune. I'm surprised they wouldn't try for a bigger venue. I think there's just a lot of places that don't know how to host a huge event like that. But if you're familiar with NPR Tiny Desk, it's just unsigned people, original music. Teddy's nodding like you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I love the Tiny Desk concerts.
It's kind of popular.
My question would be to you, Sally, is there capacity for this for next year, for staff capacity to do something like this? And then also probably, you're such an amazing, you guys are all amazing getting sponsorships. Could the sponsorships cover the stipend?
Well, I would apply for lodging tax in August. It doesn't seem like a lot of work to me, but it's because I haven't done one. But like, to me, the sound person would do all the work. It would just be picking the bands. I'm still not understanding. It sounds like there's a ton of bands out there that are unlicensed. How do you prove you're unlicensed?
I should unpublished is the term, and I can look it up on the website, but basically to enter the NPR Tiny Desk music contest, which I did with my band this year, you were required to have music that was not released on any major label. So they were unsigned is kind of the way that they used to say that. So these are folks that are really trying to get their music out there, you know. So it's a way to grow art and grow the music scene. So
Yeah.
And they would have to play only original songs.
exactly. So yeah, and we could specify that then you're hearing all original music. Now, and some of the bands will have CDs though to sell, but they're self-published CDs. So
And they sell their music some other way, and like, I can't play a CD anymore. I mean,
I know, isn't it crazy? It's a lot of folks are streaming, but the streaming services provide very little revenue for the bands. So a lot of folks will release their downloadable media files kind of thing, which is probably how they will end up entering the contest or entering for the festival.
nobody plays CDs anymore, unfortunately.
I know.
I can't even win.
We could provide a merch table or merch table space for the bands that come through. That would be a nice thing to do.
That's the easy part. Patty, what am I missing in terms of work here? What do you think goes into this?
I just was wondering about like, you know, staff capacity, because staff has to be there for this. You know, you have to call in all, you know, like people to, it's not just the sound person. It's you guys, it's making sure PD is there, you know, all of those kinds of things. And if you're adding another event, and I know it's next year, I'm sure you would just work it into the work plan. So that's why I was asking about your guys' capacity on that. If it was something else, if it's only one day, I think that could sound doable. But again, I wanted to check and make sure that that was good with you guys, with the actual staff.
Thank you. I think that if you're planning for 40 minutes, you know, this is the type of thing you want to start in the morning. People don't get going at any of these events till 1 or 2 o'clock. So it would go into the night, which isn't a big deal. That's one thing. We may want it 2 days. It seems like the work is in vetting all these artists and how that's done.
That's a good point, because we're gonna have to know what kind of content they're gonna be singing about. Yeah, because we don't want to get ourselves into a situation where somebody says something that they shouldn't be saying as far as their music goes. And
Earl, that has never happened to us at the Arts Commission before, has it?
Exactly.
Daryl, did you want to say something?
Yes, Paige, I applaud you for your vision here. In addition to, as Sally said, traditionally we fund this from the lodging tax grant. Would this be the type of event that would preclude them asking for tips or making a tip jar, maybe to entice them to want to do this? Or
I think
that's something that you know probably a little bit more about, and Sally, is that kind of a restrictive thing for an event that's going to be held in a public place like the pavilion that restricts tips, a tip jar or something like that? Because I know, you know, back in the day at the Swiss, it was encouraged to, you know, give the musicians a break here and there. And I totally understand the concept of just having to be music.
I said you're dating yourself with the Swiss.
Yeah.
I was going to say 2 things. I think a tip jar is always good, but I would say up to the bands to have it and maintain it. Because also when you're selling merch, you're keeping that money too. So bands can handle that on their own is what I would say. And then also I would suggest doing this on a Saturday, because like I said, I love a Thursday evening, but there's so many folks that work Monday to Friday. And I don't know how a Saturday would affect our staffing and whatnot, but I would highly encourage a Saturday.
And also your food trucks and stuff, because in the summer, those food trucks are booked and busy and done and at 5 million other things.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 2 things. 1, no, they can't accept donations if it's a city event. 2, I would pay them enough that they want to come. We get lodging tax. I mean, the whole point is we want to support the artists. We're not going to pay them the $200 stipend. We're paying them $1,000 or whatever it is.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these original bands would be happy with
You know,
a few hundred, but yeah, that would be great.
And so Paige, would this be something that you would promote on KNKX, or is there some provisions where you can't do that?
No, we do, we have a huge calendar of events and we can include something for Lakewood for sure. We already do with Lake Vold Gardens and stuff. If that's an arrangement with our business support and it's all kind of tied together. So, but yeah, Sally or whoever in promotions, I could talk to our development folks about that because yeah, Lakewood's huge.
The summer
I have a,
are on Tuesday and not Thursday, and we should promote them through you. With
hey, Paige,
lineup this year is really big and amazing.
Sure. Yeah. Again, it doesn't go through me, but I can set you up with who it does go through.
well,
Oh.
should we include Daryl? Daryl's got an event coming up in June. It's a drum circle at the pavilion. He can tell you more about that, but Paige, maybe you could promote it on your radio station.
Well, that's part of the summer concert series.
Oh, cool.
What is? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Daryl, you did a great job with that flyer.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will. Shall I just email you, Sally, the info on how to get in touch with the person who can help with that?
Yes. Okay, well, we could also put in money to contract if we need to with vetted artists before. That would probably be a smart thing to do. Bring in a specialist for the first time at least.
Well, maybe they could just submit their intended music to us. That's a lot of,
It's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I think it would be good for, I mean, I'd be happy to be on a committee if that's what we could do, because honestly, if we have our criteria and we want to focus on Lakewood bands, and we also want a diverse amount of age and race, I think we can do that. Representation, making sure that we're kind of being representative. I'd be willing to chair the committee. And I know folks in the community who might even be willing to sit on the committee who are not on the Arts Commission and help to vet.
And then Paige, is it pretty standard for these artists to kind of sign like some sort of a form or a contract saying that they would certain?
Yes, a contract exactly with that language would be fine, and I can help draft that.
So this would be for next year, not this year.
I love it. I do love it. It's something different. And at the city council meeting, when I did the special events presentation, one of the comments was that they really like new events and that we don't have to keep doing like Real Life 96. We don't have to do that every year. We can do it every other year, every 2 years, and then have new events. So thank you. We don't have to drill down anymore. We do our work plan in November and December. So we would pick a date. And then I would write, the lodging tax is in August. So I would probably put in $15,000 for that. Yeah.
Oh, great. That would be wonderful.
Because we have to advertise it and everything too. Okay, thank you.
Great idea.
I'm trying to think of a cool name besides Belltown Bloom, like Lakewood Licks or something. Original Music Festival doesn't sound as exciting to me. Like Guitar Licks. Come on.
We'll,
I know.
committee.
Right? You're all there. Gaps on for that.
Okay, so now we're moving on to unfinished business, and the first item of the public art committee is the art reception. That was for Mauricio, Laura Martinez, and River Mesh. And we had about 64 people, 65 people. It was our biggest one to date. Thank you.
The saxophone player was amazing.
That really created great atmosphere.
Do that every time. I think,
That sets an atmosphere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Reese, every time. Well, he brings his own crowd too.
Yeah.
But that helps. I mean, it generates that feeling of, wanting to be there.
I think we need to give Mauricio a big shout out and maybe at some point do something for him, because he's really the impetus behind all these artists and bringing so many people. You know, I'm learning more and more about him. He's very humble, but all of a sudden he's like, oh, you know, I've got these girls up in Seattle, and yeah, he's all over the state.
By the way, who was the lady that was there? Laura
Or Martina.
the one that had like the black and the, yeah. There was like, she used that logo for Tacoma Ocean Fest on, I came across my Instagram feed that mermaid looking one that's the black background with the green or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was like they were using it for Tacoma Ocean Fest or something. I'm like, hey, I just saw that piece. So,
So thanks everyone for being there, for supporting our artists. This is getting really fun. It's amazing. Okay, so we don't have to worry about our next one for a while, for a couple of months. And then we're moving on to the signal box, wrap updates. We've got the subcommittee minutes and, Earl or want to speak to what we decided. You might want to pull your chair in to your place. And then I'll go through, you can go through what you decided. This list will be done.
all right, here.
Hey,
And then-
Sylvie has her hand up.
Oh, I forgot to put it down.
Oh, I thought you were like
Um,
waiting patiently. I'm like, Sylvie.
No, but Sally, I sent the photograph into your email of Juan's art.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Maybe I'll have, anyways, okay, we'll get to that. Thank you.
So the single box wraps, the commission reviewed the submissions and locations. The locations for this round included 96 in South Tacoma Way, 112th in Bridgeport, 100th in South Tacoma Way, Stillicum in Bridgeport, Stillicum in Gravely Lake Drive, Stillicum in Hagness, Stillicum in Lakeview, 88th in South Tacoma Way, and Stillicum in South Tacoma Way. The commission selected art including Make the Future by Samuel Reed, Lake Stillicum by Samuel Reed, Speedway by Chuck Mathias, Animal Nature Montage by Laura Martinez, Dancer by Juan Torres, Sailboats and Fish by Jose Orantes, Moon and Sun by River Meshi.
So I contacted all of the artists, let them know they were chosen and what signal boxes they had. They got the dimensions and they're in the process. So we have a process now, and the process is the print shop sends me something to review and accept, and I have not done that. I put it in a PowerPoint for you all to see, and if you approve, then I will accept it. So we're gonna go to the PowerPoint. So
Yeah, these are great.
So, yeah, so we'll start with the first one. Now, the first one is a concept. And so this isn't something, well, it is something we're approving. It's not on the box, but Chuck Mathias, he said yes. And we talked about having him at an area close to where the old historic speedway was. And these are his concepts, which we love. I wanted to see if you all approve. He's going to go down this direction if you approve this. And there's one more slide. One on the left, and then as you can see, he just put some historic photos to reference where he was getting these images. So this is your chance to give any feedback. Lonnie and I did sit down with them and talk to him about, you know, not making things too busy because people are driving fast. Did we give any other information?
Well, on the previous slide, like changing you know, like 2000 or 2012 is not relevant, so
Yeah,
it's the speedway was from 1912, I think, to 1918 or something like that.
I like the first one on the left.
So, yeah, little, okay, there you go. So minor changes to the, you know. But yeah, I just love it. I love the way his lettering is with the Tacoma Speedway, and goggles and the scarves and all of it.
He's an immensely talented person.
Yeah.
He's been doing our newsletters and flyers and
I-
that's on our window at the district museum.
I just am trying to wrap my heads around this. As I understand it, Gravelly Lake Drive is going to be some traffic calming. Eventually more people are going to live here in apartments and walking is going to be more and more. I'm a walker. That's my neighborhood. I'm just, I don't love the car thing. I'm sorry. I just don't. But if it's an important part of our history and we really want to say something about it, I would really underline it by saying Motor Avenue, home of Tacoma Speedway. I don't know. I know you're saying people are going to drive past it fast. Again, I'm not a car lover. So full disclosure, just wanted to mention all of that.
Do you have to say the Tacoma Speedway?
Pardon, Patty?
Yeah.
What?
I said, do you have to say the Tacoma Speedway?
I was wondering that too.
I mean,
No.
I feel like if it's just a visual representation of the speedway, you don't even need to put that in there.
Yeah.
There's also the historical road marker signs, kind of in that area that say that's, this is the original speedway area, that kind of stuff. So I hesitate putting the word Tacoma on any of our wraps.
Yeah, and I mean, and you're absolutely 100% right, because it's not needed, and it's not like any of our utility boxes have a reference to something exactly Lakewood. We put them on the box because it looked cool. So
This is great feedback. So taking off the Tacoma Speedway, and he's got 4 sides to work with. So I just guess I need to know if you kind of approve with these concepts, and then he'll finalize it for the boxes.
Was that what it was called, was Tacoma Speedway?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. If I can jump in a little bit on this, Tacoma Speedway was the concept when Lakewood was just a suburb in the early 1900s. I think if we remove the term Tacoma Speedway and say that it's on the site that now is Clover Park Technical College, that would be a tie-in to Lakewood, and people would have a little bit more relevance to it. Phil, you could probably speak to that since you're our resident historical guru. Some people aren't really all that into history, but for those who are, they'll see the connection. Oh, wow, on the grounds that Clover Park Technical College sits on, there was once a speedway. And the covered grandstands are kind of a cool, unique thing. It also had like a overpass and whatnot. So it's just kind of a nod to what was. And if the artist was able to tie in that it's now what you know of as Clover Park Technical College, that might be helpful. That's just my thought.
I see where you're going with that, but people are going to be driving around in a car. They're not going to be stopping to wonder. It's something. It's a cool piece of art that's going to go in a utility box. I mean, as far as the historical significance of it goes, they're not going to visit that box to know what it's about.
So
We
there's
can-
no walkers in the area?
We can put it on the website, more.
Yeah,
more
we can put it on the website. Yeah.
But maybe we just say historic speedway or nothing,
Or the speedway.
the speedway. Yeah.
I like
Speedway.
the historic speedway. Because at the museum, we call it the Tacoma Speedway, which is what its name really officially
Right.
was, but I understand, but the historic, former site of the historic speedway.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have no one saying they don't like this. Is that correct?
I like it. I love it.
Okay. Awesome. So we will move on. The next one is Laura Martinez. These are from the print shop, ready to go. She did her raccoons. You saw them at the artist reception.
Oh, those critters.
I personally love it.
I love it. I hate raccoons, but they look so cute there.
I think they're part of living anyway.
They do, they look so sweet.
Yeah.
Rocky Raccoon.
Yeah. I think it's cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we all vote a yes on this?
Yes, I,
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I like
I
the
will
colors.
send over my approval tomorrow.
They may be vicious, but they're adorable.
So this was our first student, Sam Reed. And this is his Make the Future that we approved, and this is what it would look like on the boxes.
That was great.
Yeah, that looks really good.
And there's another one.
wow.
He did a really good job.
He's a
And then-
student, I like that.
Yeah, he's a student. So that was his first one, and then he had a second box for Lake Stillicum. Oh, well, there it is again. Oh, and there it is again. Okay, and so this is, you'll probably remember his artwork now from this. This is the Lake Stillicum. There's one. I think there's one. Oh, no, sorry. So to me, this one didn't pop as much, but you know, we chose it, and that's really what it looked like.
I like it.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I did. It's like the Northwest.
Yeah, it's very Northwest.
Mhm.
Mhm. I like it. I like the subtle colors on it. I don't think all of them need to be screaming at us. So I mean, it's nice that some of them kind of blend in a little
Right.
bit. I think it's pretty.
Great. And then I wanted to include his thank you note, which is on the next slide, because it was so cute, and I did email it out, but you know, he's 16 years old at Harrison Prep, and he's so excited about this opportunity.
Sweet.
Okay, so we'll move on. Now, before we go into the mural artists, we had one other signal box. The other ones are in the making. But Sylvie just mentioned that she emailed photos of Juan, so, is there any, is there any way you can share it, Sylvie?
Okay, it's just the picture of the, there we go. It's just the picture of the, ballet person so far.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's still trying to figure out how he's gonna wrap it around the box.
Seems like that would be one panel, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, he's throwing out some ideas and he needs help, and I volunteered Daryl to help him, and Daryl agreed. So,
You're on the top side right now.
so Daryl's gonna help him get it into the right program because he doesn't have a computer that can handle it.
thank you. You know, I think it's so wonderful. You know, these artists, not all of them are digital artists, and so Sylvie's helping, and thank you, Daryl. It's nice that we can do that. Okay, thank you. We can stop
Okay.
sharing. We'll go on to the murals. And so by the next Arts Commission meeting, well, two things. Do you want me to wait to the next Arts Commission meeting to share the rest, or email them out? Before, because I don't want to approve them until everyone has seen them, even though we have approved the art itself. I just want to be extra cautious.
Are we still accepting new artists? Because I have a local artist that wants to put his name in the hat.
So we filled all the boxes for this grant.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's,
But we have next year, we've got a list of artists for next year. That
Can
we're,
I put-
so
can I
you can,
put more in?
pardon,
Can I put another name in for next year?
just go ahead and email me
Okay,
the name and email contact information. And then, of course, if they have a website, that's always really helpful,
okay.
or access to their art.
Sally, I think it's a great idea to review it. You know, make that little snapshot, you know, we get all of us with our
Okay.
opinions.
yeah, I like that.
And we can feed off of each other if there's, you know, somebody has a comment and we go,
Doing it by email, we're all replying to all and all this, and you know, I mean, I like this.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, and so, the caveat to that, there was only one box that we didn't, choose because we wanted to save it. It's Pacific Avenue at 512, and we wanted to save it to do a nod to the military community. And we didn't have any artwork that reflected that. And so we're gonna move it into the 2024 pool.
Okay,
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So the mural, I met with Mary and you can go to the next slide. We do have, oh, actually, stay there, sorry. We have a location. So, for the process, because we were talking a lot about the process, for the mural artists, my recommendation is to pick 2 to 3 artists from the 2 public rosters from the city of Tacoma. All the artists are vetted. When we do a call to artists, we have to do the vetting. It's extremely time consuming. We are very, very, very small staff. And so they really do the work for us.
good idea.
Now, if the Arts Commission had, a mural artist and you love their art and you know them and you know their work, you can put their name forward. And then what we'll do, what I want to do in this meeting is pick 2 to 3 of the artists, and then we'll pay them a stipend if they opt in to create a sketch, and then they come back and present their sketch to the Arts Commission, much like Juan did. And at that next meeting, we choose the finalist, and then that finalist would get $6,000. And ideally, I'd like to see that mural up by November, if not earlier.
So some artists can still throw their hat in the ring at this point, right?
Well, I think we'll look through the options and then we could decide, do we want something that or,
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty open if yes, we love.
Yeah, I mean, I have, I know of a guy that, just moved here and he's an artist, so. I don't know, you can mention,
Yeah,
you can see what he would throw, yeah, and see what he would throw out, so. I have no idea. Now, are we set on a location?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So we'll just move forward and then see how it goes. So this is the location, it's the bathroom wall by the playground
Good
at
idea.
Fort Stillington Park. And it has the measurements on there. Tacoma also has a mural calculator that calculates the price by square foot. I'm gonna show you that. So this is one side and then there's and then this is the back side. And then, of course, the one on there, I didn't put in the picture of the other one, but it's because it mirrors the other side one. So we pick which side we want to do it. I imagine we want this side because it faces the road.
Yeah, that side for sure.
And then we'll need to decide on the size, which I was thinking would be, most of the wall. Now, what I've learned, I've talked to a lot of artists, mural artists, and it really saves money when you don't have to buy or rent a lift. So in this case, they really don't need any height, if we keep it to 6 feet, they can use a ladder. That's gonna be really, really, that's gonna save them money, save us money. Okay, so I went through the list and I sent everyone the list. I didn't hear back from anyone on the committee. I asked everyone to look and see which artists they liked and wanted to recommend. Unless I missed it, I didn't see anyone make a recommendation. So I chose artists that I thought would speak to everyone here. And so there's 5 artists and we'll go through one by one. I got samples of their art and their bios and we can see if you like them. This is Liam Miller and Bethany Frank Fractal. And this is an example of one of their murals. This is another mural. This is a third mural. So this is their bio. So Bethany is from the Snoqualmie tribe. And I think that's important, to this commission that we focus on some artists who represent different cultures. And so she uses the traditional Salish patterns in a contemporary way to bring her culture to light and to share her people's ways that differ from many other Native American tribes. And then her partner Liam is Hawaiian And his art reflects that culture, and then they work together and make these murals together. So before we do that, do you wanna just go back one more? Let's go back through one more just so you can see. And you can maybe take notes and then. Are you ready to move on, or does anyone want to make any comments?
Can we number them or so we can refer to them?
This is number one.
Yeah, that's what we're good at. Yeah.
And well, I put their names in for some. So. Okay, and number two is Savannah. Oh, so that was it for Savannah. And if they didn't have a strong, cultural background, I didn't put their bio. Essentially, they're from Tacoma area. Okay, and then number three is Danielle. I'm sure.
That one's fun.
Okay. And Danielle also is, she's from Tacoma. And then we have Jorge Mota. This is called The Salmon. This is obviously a tribal community mural, which is it's called Melon Seed. It's at the Melon Seed, one of Nikki's favorite places to go. Oh, and that's it. And so Jorge came from Mexico. So he was his life involved migrant work. And so his paintings are centered around celebrating cultural representations, highlighting both the struggles and the beauty of migrant life. He, I believe, submitted something for the signal boxes that we didn't.
Those are really beautiful. This is beautiful, beautiful.
Okay. This is Perry Porter. This actually was made at Clover Park High School. He was the lead artist doing a mural with the students. I couldn't fit it all together, so it's in two pieces. This is at Pike Place. The name is under that, I can't see. This is called Our Story. Rose Garden. So Perry Porter is from Tacoma, emphasizing the aesthetics, Black magic, Black girl magic, or Black boy joy.
So Sally, are we limited in how many, I mean, what's our budget for how many artists we can throw $200 at? Are we limited
Well, a
to,
best practice is to invite like two,
okay,
typically,
okay,
2 to 3.
okay, so we're trying
That's
to,
not the best part. It's not really about money. That's just from me talking to people.
yeah, okay, so we're trying to narrow this down to 2 to 3, okay.
This is Novo Porter, who's from Lakewood. And so this is funny. So, you know, he went to Oak Elementary, Lake City Elementary, Man Middle School, played football for Lakes. And so, you know, he knows the area. So the caveat to this is, I didn't pick all their art, you know, a lot of them had really amazing things and then things I was like, oh, no way, this wouldn't work. So I picked what I thought would be, you know, most representative of something we would want them to do.
People comment in the chat, but we can see where they're meeting the chats to hear.
So let's open it up just for a dialogue. And you know, the next step would be to kind of drill down, maybe vote or say, well, we need more artists in this pool. So I'm going to open it up for discussion.
I really like Bethany's, the first one. And I think it's, you know, cool that that they're both associated. Well, one of them's associated with one of the tribes. But the artwork was pretty dynamic, I thought.
I totally agree on that. The Snoqualmie tribe and the Nisqually tribe, I think they would both be proud of one of these pieces exhibited.
Thank you.
Plus
Did
her partner was he Asian Pacific?
It didn't say what he was, but it said he represents the Hawaiian culture.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming he's Pacific Islander. Did anyone else have favorites?
Yeah, I love the colors and everything of, was it Jorge?
Yeah.
And I feel like in that space too, because that's near the playground and everything. That restroom, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, the color, everything like that would be beautiful there. And I love that location too, because a lot of families gather in that space. And like you said, cars drive by, so it's highly visible.
Yeah.
Could we maybe ask the artist to do something more with children in the artwork, since it is next to the playground?
Yeah, we can get to that. I think, yeah, we can ask them to do whatever we want to do. I will say that 2 artists I talked to said that if an arts commission starts asking them to do things, they opt out because they want full creative license. They can go to the space, they can read about the space. They just feel like it really limits their creativity when they're asked to do things. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but Mauricio said that, and another gentleman. So
So-
somebody,
Sorry. I didn't raise my hand. I just started talking. So I think it's really important that we look at the artist's style, their aesthetic, what they're painting, and not focus on the content. I think that that is super duper important. And so in looking at each one of them, like they definitely have a distinct style. So that would be, I think that we would want to look at that, and then you can pull back the part of, asking them what to put on. I think that also from our last talk that it sounds like maybe we want to stay away from faces or people, or if they are, just make them very abstract, or, like if someone was up there, they're, yellow or hot pink or green, or, you know what I mean? Keeping it very, very broad, not really focusing in and narrowing in on color, because I think that that's really important to stay away from. And I think people are great to put up there, but I love all the abstract feeling. Like one of them had a very urban feeling, Nofu, I believe. He just had, it was his stuff at Melon Seed. I liked it. It was a person, but it had that urban spray paint kind of feeling, which I liked. I did like Jorge. I thought he had a really good style. I liked, and then the first people, Bethany and Liam, I thought that their style was also really nice. So I was trying not to look at the content, because I think we can get really hung up on that of trying to art direct people, especially like you said, Sally, the artist, they pull back right away. Don't tell me how to create my art kind of thing. So if there's a style that we all like or that everyone could agree on, I think that would be the best.
thank you.
Yeah, well said, Barry.
Does anyone else have favorites?
I personally wouldn't mind if we took a look at some other artists too. I wasn't really blown away by any of them, to tell you the truth. I mean, I didn't dislike any of them. I just wasn't blown away by any of them. I feel like, as far as the Native American theme goes, that's been done so many different times, and I don't know. I'm kind of looking for something different that I haven't really seen before, I guess. And we're not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to look for something different. I think the one that spoke to me the most was the jazz scene. Just because it kind of had nothing to do with Lakewood. It didn't have anything to do with heritage or diversity or this or that. It was just kind of cool.
But
Well,
don't we
and-
want something that children would enjoy? I don't feel like that would.
Why wouldn't the children enjoy that?
But that's again focusing on the content. I don't think we should focus on the content right now. Or maybe they should have very wide parameters that are put before them. You guys want to focus on the style. So if you like the way the style of the jazz painting was, then
Yeah.
maybe lead them down the road of that versus the actual content of it.
And we have to remember, the summer concerts, there are music festivals, or there's some music very much speaks to that area. And when we talk to the artists, we're gonna be telling them what the park's used for, and that will be one thing. So they very much could come up with the music.
Can we go through it one more time really quick?
Yeah, I just, does anyone else want to say anything that we haven't heard from about their favorites?
Yeah,
No.
I'd like to go through it one more time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with Earl, but I'm looking for something fresh,
Yeah,
style wise.
just something,
A lot of stuff, we've seen it over.
we've seen it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to remember the same. We can go through from the beginning to. So we.
Yeah, Sylvie,
So when, will we get to, or will the city approve the mural? I mean, if, once the artist is chosen and they, draft something, is the city going to approve it, or do you just let the artist do whatever they want on the walls?
we'll get a final concept. We'll get an initial concept, a sketch, and then we'll choose them, and then they'll create the final one and show us. And then they'll get the approval to make it.
This doing birds from top side.
Probably a seagull.
Probably this
You
video.
down. You can go ahead and talk, Daryl, did you have something to say? Hold it here.
I did, Sally. I'm kind of drawn a little bit more now to Mr. Porter, from an artistic standpoint. He's got a lot to say. We have been saying all along that we want to try to encourage and promote younger people submitting artwork. And I really get the sense that this is a young man who's committed to his craft. And I think we should consider him for one of the finalists. That's just my opinion.
And he's from Lakewood, right?
He's like, yeah, Lakewood, I agree.
So there are two porters, Corinne Porter and Nofo. You're talking about Nofo.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, I felt both of them were pretty strong, actually. I thought it was the same person. There's Perry and then there's Nofu. Okay. If I had to pick a preference, I felt Nofu's work was quite strong and I liked his bio.
Wait, I'm confused. No, who's not from Lakewood? Harry is from Lakewood.
No, Nofu's from.
It was on the Lakes football.
I think
No,
that's
no,
where
that's
it's,
Okay.
but that wasn't, his stuff was above that.
Right.
You were really
This is his
confused.
stuff.
Yeah, but let's
Oh.
go up to the beginning of Nofu. Okay,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
where
yeah.
Nofu starts.
I think the thing that impressed me is he's got a wide range of media that he's using.
Agreed.
People love that octopus.
I like his combination of realism because he can paint people very well, but then he also brings in that urban feeling, which I really like. So I think he has a really good combination of style there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Patty. I just feel like the younger people in our community would be able to connect with his work.
And he did stuff with faces and without faces too. So I don't think that, I mean, like if you go back to the one, all I think about is the Kraken, which I know it's not, it's the octopus. but that's what it reminds me of that, like I see some like up in the upper left-hand corner, stuff that kind of looks like the spray paint, and then bottom right-hand corner, I like how he does actual painting, like with brush strokes, but then I also see some stuff on there that looks like the street, like a spray paint. So like you mentioned, Daryl, it's a lot of different mediums, a lot of different stuff that's happening there. I think he would definitely be worth it to look at.
I picked that just because so many people have dogs and like dogs.
Well, and we have the best dog park.
Yeah.
We do.
Yes.
Good fit.
I mean, and there's no reason we only have to do one wall necessarily, but anyways, okay. So are you still feeling like we need more?
It's not, it's not all up to me, but I think, I would prefer to see more.
I'll second it.
So, then the question is how do we do that? I sent this out before leading up to this. Going off those rosters, so now does that mean we're gonna have a different process or?
Are you meaning more from, the vetted people, right? Because I feel like that's really important, Sally. That cuts down a lot of work for you guys. You don't have to vet them, and they've already been vetted. So I feel that that's really important to look at that roster again and see if there's other people within that roster. Were there more? I can't remember if there are more names.
There were definitely more. I whittled it down, but I can't say that these, like this one young gentleman who was here, he just got commissioned by the city of Seattle. And that was an example of a process. They just called him and said, we want you to do it. That's the city of Seattle. They didn't ask 2 or 3 artists to sketch, they just picked him. So we as an arts commission could do that. We could just pick one artist and say, we like you, we want you to do it. But he's not on the roster, and there's a lot of artists that are not on that roster. And I felt like I picked the best representation. Now that said, I emailed that out, and everyone, from now to the next meeting or the next 2 weeks, let's say, can look through and send their favorite ones to me. There's top 3 that I did that are not on here, and I can add them to the presentation, and we'll go back through. And or if you know of an artist that you like or is a friend or whatever, and you can send me their work, I'll add it to the PowerPoint.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I think out of this whole process with the mural and the utility boxes, that 16-year-old kid really brought something new to the table. What was his name? Sam Reed or something? Mm-hmm. He really brought something new to the table. He brought something fresh. He brought something colorful. I don't know. Maybe that's something I'm kind of like looking for. Not something where somebody's trying to identify us or who we are or what we're doing, or just something cool. And I'd be interested to see what that kid actually has in his arsenal for doing a mural.
I love that. I think it's also important, though, that you want to go with someone who knows how to paint a mural and what it takes to paint a mural. And because there's a lot of logistics with it, and I would hate to throw that at a 16-year-old who has no concept, who can't really even get his digital artwork together very well. And then you want them to paint a mural. So I think that we got to consider staff on that too, because there's a lot of vetting when it comes to finding a muralist.
Sure. But that's just kind of like, I threw that out there because that's just what I'm kind of looking for.
Yeah, you're looking at a different kind of style is what. Yeah. So you need to find the style, but with an experienced muralist who knows how to execute it.
Sure.
So this is a little bit like the signal boxes, in the sense that we just have to, this is the first of many that are going to be coming. So hopefully, it's our plan, put it out there to the universe.
For sure.
So, yeah. How complicated do we make it or not make it? And pick one and go.
Mhm.
I don't know, I don't know if I'm articulating that well, but. At some point, it's just the first of many. And so that's how I feel like with the signal boxes, we're getting better at refining like what, now we're identifying zones and we're identifying. The nod to JBLM or. And
Or the speed rate thing,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly, and we didn't have that in the first round.
No.
Just like, we had 4 signal boxes to do and what did we like, so. I really like Lofo, I think he could be really interesting. And I like Bethany and Liam, and I liked Jorge's stuff too, so those were my 3.
I'll go out on a limb. Who did the butterfly?
I think that was.
It's the same one.
Danielle.
Yeah, Daniel, right,
Yeah,
What I was saying
jazz
is-
jazz player one.
Who doesn't like a butterfly? And it's peaceful. You can look at it time and time again. It doesn't cause you to have to think about it. We all see butterflies, we'll stop and look at them. I mean, maybe we kind of went right by that. But a lot of these, you're gonna have to really pay attention to the mural to kind of figure out what it is. That one was just kind of, I could be very relaxed and sit in the park and look at it.
I have an artist that I'd like to throw in. She's a Seattle artist and her Instagram is 179. She's got some really dynamic murals.
can you bring that up, Nikki?
Can you share it, Sylvie?
And I'm on my phone. I mean, I'm on, I don't think I don't have Instagram on my computer. Can you, do you have Instagram on yours? Nikki? It's-
179 what? Just
no,
179?
it's spelled out,
Oh,
179,
okay, I typed in the numbers.
all together, 179.
Angela,
Angelina?
Angelina.
I think so. Yeah,
Pretty- Yeah,
she's got some really dynamic, and she's a seasoned muralist.
I like it.
Can the rest of you, oh, thank you, Nikki.
I love it when her post says glow up, the power of neon spray paint. I think she has a beautiful style.
This is the other thing. Can we pick, let's say we pick, go scroll down a little. Let's say we like that one there with the tea, is that a teacup? And we just say, hey, can you repeat that? I mean, you know what, sometimes I feel like it's so hard, like, we'll like something they did, but then not like what they present for us.
Mhm.
Is there a rule against repeating something? Like if we really love something that we've seen, saying, can you do that on our wall?
Don't we want something original though in Lakewood? Could you say, I like the style of this? I like the teacup, but can you make it Lakewood-ish or just make it more original? I mean, because there's the one guy, he does all the words. Ricky loves painting. He does the muralists like that say love. So you know that it's him, but they always say something different. They're just a little different. So like
Oh,
that
it is,
concept I
yeah.
like.
Mm-hmm. Nikki, can you go down to see all? Scroll down and click see all.
I'm not logged in. Oh, let's see.
Yeah,
Oh, that's for related accounts, Sylvie.
oh, okay, because she has a lot more than what we're seeing. Oh, there we go.
Sorry, it's wanting me to log in. Exit out of this. You see the little.
So we have 3 minutes left to our meeting. I'd like to discuss, we want to be efficient. We're in May and we want to be effective. So we want to take our time that's needed. In hindsight, I probably should have had everyone submit their favorite mural artist to me prior to this. But we'll take another month if you want, to everyone submit to me, additional artists, it sounds like, unless for this round, we want to pick one that we have, pick one or two. So you let me know, we can pick one and say you're it. We can pick two and have them do sketches, 3 and have them do sketches, or add more to the pool and revisit it next month. It's whatever the commission decides. I'm open. As long as people follow through.
I say let's add more to the mix, as Earl wanted, and
I love the addition that you brought forward, Sylvie. I think she has a lot of potential. I really, really like it. And I also would like to explore the guy from Lakewood that Daryl brought up.
Who was, oh, no food?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the next meeting, if you have artists, please email me, any way that I can capture the art and put it into the PowerPoint. And their name and contact information. Sometimes they can just send me Google Docs that are easier to go through than like an Instagram account.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna quickly, so that was fun, you guys, interesting dialogue. Moving on very quickly, I emailed you, it came up in the last meeting, talking point, like our elevator speech on how public art is funded. And I emailed it to you, did everyone, and then I'm gonna hand this out here.
Okay, I didn't.
And my supervisor, Mary Godworth, put this together. Essentially,
We pay for that. Oh.
so the city has a public art fund that is funded with revenues collected by various groups using city days at the McGavick Conference Center at Clover Park Technical College. Now, you all knew that. Other funds, i.e. general fund allocations, grants, donations, and sponsorships are added to the public art fund when available to support projects. Then the city council appropriates the funds and authorizes all expenditures for public art. Are there any questions on that?
No.
Well,
Oh,
Where does this go?
go into the lodging
you get
commission.
to keep it. And so this is for you. Councilmember Bell really brought this up. People, you're on the Arts Commission, they may say, hey, how is public art funded? And this is your response. Patty, how do you feel about that?
I feel it's really good. I think you guys, you're ambassadors out there and people ask you questions and you hear this stuff. And I want you to be equipped with the right information on this so that we get community support for this. I mean, it's always, public art is always a piece out there that people want to talk about, they love, they hate, you never know. But now you guys are equipped, you can be able to speak to it and speak to it in a positive, uplifting way, because this only brings betterness to our community. So I hope that this helps you guys. And if you feel like anything else needs to be added to it, I think it's pretty thorough. You don't need to go in depth on stuff, but now, like Sally said, you have an elevator pitch for it.
So take a screenshot with your phone and stick it in your phone. You can access it anytime. Okay, wonderful. We're gonna move on.
I'll ask you a quick question.
Mhm.
I don't see where the lodging tax is. I mean, the majority of the money, it comes from lodging tax. But it says,
I don't apply for lodging tax for the Arts Commission.
not for the Arts Commission, but for the.
Just for
different
events,
Huh?
not for public art.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Because it attracts tourism at this point.
do we get enough money from the city days and things to fund this whole program? Okay.
Okay, great. So very quickly, the public art policy will be updated at the November council study session. Where we'll add a review process and also, the purchase of art. So, it came up at the council meeting and with the city manager that the city council would like to purchase a piece of art from our rotating artists annually.
Cool.
So
Yes.
we need to have a subcommittee meeting and decide, you know, what does that look like? What are we spending? How do we pick the artist?
And then
How
one other thing I was gonna mention, Sally, like when you guys come up with this, after you do all that, like where is the art hung? So like I have a huge collection of the city of Kent, and it's just from all of our shows. And if you want art, you have to have an office where public goes to. So something like that, a caveat in there, like a public space, you know, start off with that. So all this beautiful art just isn't in a conference room that nobody has access to, stuff like that. So I have a lot of people come into my office. So I have two really awesome pieces. Sylvia, you'd know it. Jake, I'm looking at the wall right now. Jake Parendes from the Cultural Arts Center in Seattle. He runs it up there. So I love it. It's so much fun. I think you guys are gonna be so excited to just really get an art collection for the city of Lakewood going. It's super exciting.
Yeah, thanks for instigating that, Patty. Will you make a note that I schedule at the meeting, subcommittee meeting? And then quickly, lastly, is Real Life 96. It was brought up several times. Oh, you know who we haven't seen is. Yeah. It's a one person that was.
Darwin.
Darwin has.
Oh.
Gone missing.
Yeah, he is.
Well, he has 5 kids, but
Yeah,
he was really behind Real Life 96. There is an option that I could apply for lodging tax for 2024. As a staff person, I'm not excited about it because of the work that's involved, and we'll have to hire a contractor out. But whatever that costs, I can write a lodging tax grant for it. It still means it'll be a lot of work for staff. I wonder how we fit that in. We're adding a new, you know, if we add this new original artist music festival, we'll just be thinking about that. And we'll revisit that. But the lodging tax takes place in August. That's when I need to write this grant. So
Okay.
just be thinking about what we really want to do as an arts commission for next year. And that's it. Thank you everyone so much. You can always email me or call me if you have questions. Otherwise, we'll see you next month on June 5th. And
Everybody.
June 3rd, I won't see you, but June 3rd is the next the street festival. So come out, support the street festival, June 3rd, 4 to 8 p.m. on Motor Ave. And then June 6th, the day after our next meeting, is opening day of the farmers market.
Woohoo.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.